Oh Lord, sorry about that, y'all. I didn't know that wasn't going to do that. That's weird. Anyway, hey, what's up? Welcome to Live with Fefe and Freddy. We are on season 14. Sorry, episode 21. Can you tell that I wasn't 100% prepared? It's fine. We're fine. We're just going to roll on. You know, we're going with it. We are going with it. I was just excited that our intro video actually worked this time. For some reason, it hasn't been working, but it actually worked and didn't stutter and did all the things. So now I just have to figure out why I went back to the other thing afterward. It's fine. Felicia isn't currently here, obviously. She had work stuff that she had to do this evening because, I don't know, normie job didn't realize that, you know, she has things to do on a Wednesday that did not include being, you know, at work. So I'm flying solo. She might be able to join us a little bit later, and I think she will be on for the after show. So fear not. But welcome back to your Wednesday night conversation. This is Live with Fefe and Freddy. I am not Felicia Minor, but I am Freddie Prince Charming, and we've got all sorts of fun stuff to talk about tonight. Privilege is one of those things that we sort of revisit every so often because things pop up, and it looks like it's one of those times. So tell me in the chat if there's what kind of privilege do you feel you have? Because I promise you that you do. And I will talk about mine a little bit later. But for a little bit of housekeeping, our podcast is largely supported by the folks on our Patreon. And you can get exclusive content if you head over to patreon.com/live with Fefe and Freddy. Trust me, you should do the thing. We post things, we have stuff. There have been a few things that we have posted in the last week. We always post our afterglows, and we have, you know, tiers ranging from free all the way up to 25 or $50 a month or something like that. What you get obviously varies with each tier, but you know, I think there's enough content for everybody. So head on over to patreon.com/live with Fefe and Freddy and join our thing. Whether it's, you know, whether you go for the free one or not, we still appreciate you. We would like to thank our current patrons: Bill, Brandon, Cassandra, Chris and Michelle, Dee, Drink Jetson and Michael, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Joan, Laura, Madam Askew and the Grand Arbiter, Nicole, Patricia Mason, and Shannon. We appreciate y'all so much. And of course, a huge shout out to Wigs of a Kind for supporting us yet again this season. I am not wearing a Wigs of a Kind wig this evening, but generally, if I am wearing a wig, it will almost always be some sort of Wigs of a Kind wig. Almost always. Some of my, like, you can tell they're not Wigs of a Kind, but, you know, sometimes I need a cheap wig for some stuff. So, you know what? Not having Felicia here is weird. So I'm going to see what I can find on some background music. So it's not just like, oh, here we go. I'll turn this down a little bit there. There we go. We'll get some chill hop or whatever the hell this is called. And we'll do that. If you would like to support us, go ahead and you can message either myself or Felicia or message our page. If you just have random money sitting around and you would like to throw it at us, we are also happy with that. There is the QR code up in that corner, which you can use to donate, or you can go to paypal.me/let's have a Fefe. I know we can't change PayPal makes it very difficult to change the username. So it is what it is. Sorry. You can also, you know, donate to either myself or Felicia individually if you want to as well. That's totally fine. We are not picky. So I didn't do anything last weekend. I don't think. I swear. I looked at my calendar, and I have to do this every so often because literally I don't remember I don't remember what I did. I'm like, did I do anything? And I'm like, I don't think I did. I hung out. Oh, I hung out at a work thing with my wife, that's always amusing. What always cracks me up is, I went with my boot on because, I'm supposed to be wearing a boot, which I just realized I literally forgot to put my boot on today, which is okay. Nobody's going to get mad at me. I go to PT tomorrow. I was at PT on Tuesday. It's fine. But, there were... every so often somebody would ask me what I did to my foot. And just because I'm me, I'm going to change the story every single time. So sometimes my partner ran me over with a car, pushed me down the stairs. It was great. So it's how I amuse myself because somebody's got to do it. And if people aren't going to amuse, I have to, there we go. Hey, Felicia's joining us on the chat. Monica is watching this evening. And of course, Monica is watching on the one night when I have to do this by myself. Oh, wait. Felicia is going to try and join. Oh, Lord. Let's see if she's able to do it. She's going to try and join on her phone, which Restream doesn't always likes, but that's all right. We're gonna figure it out. We'll see. Maybe. Let's see. Felicia, are you there? Nope, Felicia is not there. Never mind. We tried. It's fine. Oh, so it's, what? It's good. It's good. We're just gonna kick back. We're just gonna chat, and what the hell. So let me go over to. Oh, hang on. We're gonna try. Felicia's gonna try and get back on again. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Felicia, are you there?
Am I there?
I can hear you, but we can't see you, which I guess is.
Well, I'm sitting in my room. I don't want people to see. I just worked a 14-hour day. I am not letting you look at me.
That's fine. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Here, we'll just do that. We'll just make you little.
Yeah, that is completely fine.
Can I make you even littler? There we go.
Yeah,
there
you go. There you go. She was there in spirit. That is what we'll call her.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you're able to jump on, even if you're just here. So since you worked a 14-hour day today, did you do anything fun over the weekend?
We didn't do much. We always take the girls to like these jump parks. And when I say jump parks, it's not like 21 Jump Street or anything, but like there's one called Elevate or Altitude, one of the two. And they love jumping on the trampolines. So that is pretty much our weekends. And to wind
21 Jump Street like a jump park, or because you say 21 Jump Street and I immediately think of like Johnny Depp back in like the 80s. So
ooh. No, it's just what I call it. Because Elevate Jump Park does not sound fun at all to me. But anyway. But that's about it.
I didn't really do anything at all this weekend.
I've been using like Pinterest to find like activities to do with them while they're here.
Okay, so real talk, I finally uninstalled Pinterest from my phone because I never fucking use it. I have tried to use it. Again? No, you should be there. I can hear you. Oh, well, there goes Felicia again. Never mind. I have attempted to use Pinterest for things in the past. I don't get it. Like trying to create I feel like I'm just old. I don't know. I've tried it. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't like it, so I just give up. So me and Pinterest, not so much. But again, this is I put notes in my phone for literally everything. So I guess that counts as something like a vision board. I don't know. But let me move right on into my tip for tonight. All right, y'all. So every so often, and it usually happens around like politics and things like that. If there are elections coming up, if potential new candidates and things are being tossed around, blah blah blah. But it happens probably maybe once a season, once every other season, give or take a little bit. But it always happens that we end up needing to talk about privilege. And this is, we talk about it because it's important, and to recognize your own privilege. And what is privilege? What does privilege mean? What does it look like? Break down the different types of privilege, the folks that benefit, and privilege blindness, all sorts of things. All right. This is a thing. And if nothing else gets taken from this episode, hopefully y'all can, whatever. So, Felicia's still trying to join. She's trying really hard. I'm going to try and add her again. Here we go.
Did it work?
Felicia, are you there?
I don't know what goes on with my internet, but it does not like me being on this phone.
Well, Restream doesn't like connecting via phone anyway. It has issues with it. So we know this. So,
due to their recent updates, it did say that they would like for people to be on mobile, but it does not seem to be mobile friendly.
They lied. Call bullshit on that. I don't believe any of that. I believe absolutely no. I think that's complete horseshit. But you're just in time. I'm gonna talk about my tip. We're gonna talk about privilege. Yay!
Oh wow! Yay!
All right. So when we're talking about privilege, usually the first thing that immediately flips into people's minds is money. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably one of the most, that's why when you talk about privilege, people are like, I'm not privileged, I grew up poor. No, which is why we need to break it down a little bit more than just, you have money, you're privileged. Like there's more to it. It's more nuanced than that. Privilege refers to unearned, often unconscious advantages, immunities, or rights held by specific individuals or groups.
Ooh.
There are different types of privilege. It's not just one type of privilege, which is why everybody always immediately goes to wealth, but there is so much more than that. So you've got racial privilege, which, let's be real, it's generally white privilege. All right.
Yeah.
Which is often allowing white individuals to navigate institutional systems without race-related barriers. Think about things like racial profiling.
Never heard of that.
Right. That's one of the most basic types of like racial privilege. Okay. We have gender and sexuality. So male identified individuals, cisgender individuals, regardless of sexuality, tend to have quite a bit of privilege. Class is where you come into wealth, stability, social status, ability.
Oh.
So being able-bodied and not having any like mental health issues or anything like that. Religious and cultural privilege. That benefits those who are practicing the...
Did we freeze? Did I freeze? What happened? Well, hell. Um,
Oh,
are you
good
there?
grief. I'm here now. What is going on with Restream tonight? This is like, there's always something. So you have religious or cultural privilege, right? So that benefits those practicing the dominant religion or cultural norms. So heterosexual people, right? You know, white Christian men. Uh,
Christian with
passing,
quotes.
right? Passing privilege, which generally when people hear passing, they immediately start thinking about like trans folks, but it's not
Yeah.
always trans folks. So passing privilege is being able to pass as the dominant cultural group. So
Oh.
there have been over history, there have been plenty of like black people, people of
Uh,
color who have been able to pass as white,
oh.
being able to pass as cisgender, being able to pass as male, being able to pass as straight. So it's not just
That was never me.
trans people. It's all these different types of passing privileges. Like we've seen stories of slaves who were very light skinned, who were able to escape because they were able to pass as white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mixed folks of mixed ethnicities who were able to pass as white and thereby save themselves a hell of a lot of headache, especially during like the Jim Crow era and earlier.
Yikes.
So it's not just about trans folks passing, which I hate that term in terms of trans folks anyway. So, but that's a whole nother anyway. Citizenship. It's a privilege. Benefits of like being a citizen, including like think movement, traveling, legal rights.
Hmm.
Oh, and yeah, see, Monica talks about a straight passing person planning a wedding for a queer couple. It's interesting to see how the industry just immediately assumes I have a husband because, you know, you don't
Oh.
look like a lesbian, whatever the fuck that means. You're not wearing
Well,
flannel,
it's
short
whatever the
hair,
cinema told them that it is.
right? You know, so it's interesting. Now, when talking about privilege, I always acknowledge the privilege that I have. And one of the big things is I'm always cis assumed. Nobody ever looks at me and goes, "Oh my god, they're trans." Like I am always cis assumed. I am white and I have male privilege. So stacking on that. However, I always say that I am cis assumed, I am never hetero assumed.
Hmm.
Nobody ever looks at me and goes, "Oh yes, no, that is a heterosexual white man." Not one single person has ever. Never,
If that
never.
ever happens to you, I need to know. I need to know the date, the time, the
I
place.
I don't. If someone ever like legitimately assumes that I am like a straight cisgender dude, I'm gonna be like, "I really." Okay, your gaydar is really off, but that's fine. the The thing to remember is that everyone benefits from some sort of privilege, regardless of social status.
Hmm.
And that is a big thing because whenever you hear, especially when you call out white people on their privilege, pretty much the first thing that they say is, "I was born poor. I grew up in a trailer, blah, 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 blah." No, 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 no. Yes,
Well, now
you're
there's
right.
now people are saying like um that we're being harmful to their culture and we're harming their privilege because you know they don't get the things that they used to and we treat them poorly.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Hmm.
Um, being born white, first of all, regardless of gender, we take gender out of it. Being
Hmm.
born white or even white passing is a privilege. What it means is that you will never be racially profiled if you are pulled over. You will never be like if you go to apply for a job and you don't have an ethnic name, you know,
I don't.
is your name is Robert Johnson or David Smith. No one is going to look at that and think, "Oh, that's a black person. I'm going to go ahead and move that." You know what I mean? Your name is Ashton McAllister. You know what I mean? No, bro.
Hmm.
You no one is going to look at your application or your resume and put you at the bottom because you sound black, quote unquote.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So being born white or white passing in of itself is a privilege. Yes, you may not have had the generational wealth or whatever it is to be able to get you out of the less than ideal, shall we say,
Situation.
situation. But you would have had a better opportunities than, you know, someone who was not born white. Um, it's for some folks it's really hard to like really understand the concept of privilege and kind of how it sounds when you talk about privilege and people just kind of dismiss it. So when I do like my trainings on being a trans ally, one of the
Hmm.
things that I always like to talk about is the boots and sandals analogy. And so I'm gonna use that tonight. We're gonna talk about the boots and sandals analogy, and we're gonna break it down. So imagine privilege as a boot, heavy. When they're designed for you to not feel like things, right? So steel-toed work boots, they're designed to protect your feet if you drop stuff, right? So you have this, your foot is in this pretty solid thing, right? You are unable to feel when you are stepping on someone's toes when they're wearing sandals.
Hmm.
And we've I'm pretty sure we've all kind of actually experienced this actual thing. You've been at a concert or you've been somewhere crowded and somebody with, large shoes has stepped on your foot and they have no fucking
Or
clue.
you're
Meanwhile, you're
performing and you
like,
step on somebody's foot.
ow, right. And you don't notice it if you're the one wearing the boot. But
Hmm.
if you're the one with, open-toed shoes, you fucking feel that shit, right? So when you tap the person and you're like, "Hey, you just stepped on my foot." Common responses that we see when you are calling someone out on their privilege are things like, "I can't believe that you'd think I'd do that. I'm a good person." No, no one has said that
Oh,
you are not a good person.
also
What
bad
we're
people
saying,
do things too.
right? Like what we're saying is you literally just stepped on my foot. You stepping on my foot has nothing to do with whether you are a good person or not. The fact of the matter is you stepped on my foot. Or we hear, well, some people don't even have toes. Why aren't we talking about them instead? So we're going to deflect and we're going to make it about something completely different. We've all seen that happen, right? That goes into the like, oh my god, when someone is talking about the accomplishments of either a maybe a black scientist or a black astronaut or a black, you know what I mean, something along those lines, and somebody's like, "Yeah, that's great, but don't forget about all of these other people over here too." It's like, no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, 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 shush, 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 no. We're not talking about them, and talking about this does not diminish them. But
that's the
right
thing I
now,
never understood. Like, why do people think that celebrating others diminishes the value or tarnishes the reputation of who they are.
I've never understood that. I don't it's like, so you can't you can pat this person on the back. You can celebrate this person. Like
But
it's like
I
why
wouldn't
people get
walk away and
mad.
be like, "Well, Freddie won the crown," and then be like, "Well, I guess I deserve it too." I would never
It,
do that.
it's like people getting mad about like Black History Month or Pride Month or whatever, and it's like you 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 understand, like you
You
you white
understand? There's
people
different people.
get all the other fucking months. You understand this, right? Like
It's kind of implied.
like just because there's one month that celebrates, the achievements of the Black community or the achievements
Oh
of the
God.
LGBTQ plus community does not diminish the fact that you white people are still fine. Like that's not how that goes. Or we hear this a lot too. All toes matter.
Oh.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's
Hmm.
fine. We're not, yes, you're right. Like all of these people that are standing here, all of their toes also matter. But the fact of the matter is you are stepping on my toe.
Hmm.
My toe is the one that is currently being stepped on by your boot. Again, it doesn't we're, yes, you're right. All of these toes do matter. But right now the one that matters the most is the one that you are currently stepping on. Then
Hmm.
there's we hear this a lot too. Well, I'd move my foot if you asked more nicely.
Ugh.
No, no,
Can we talk
no.
about the over proving yourself because you don't have the privilege? You have to over prove
Uh,
yourself because
right. You right.
here again. Did I
Oh, there you are.
disappear?
Nope, you're there. So
If Restream is just having a problem because yeah.
it could be, it could be. But when people are
All
like, well,
right,
if you had
dinner
been nicer to
and
me,
in bed.
oh, okay,
I'm tired.
okay. Thank you for jumping in. So when people are like, well, if you would ask me more nicely, then maybe I wouldn't have done this, or maybe I'll apologize if you ask nicely or whatever. It's like, no, no, no. I
Uh,
I shouldn't have to be nice for you to acknowledge that you are standing on my foot. You are standing on my foot. I shouldn't have to be like,
can you hear
hi,
me?
excuse me. I can hear you, yes.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I don't know where you I don't Felicia, okay, Felicia went away again. Nope, nope, there she is. Nope, she's gone. Nope, she's here. I don't know.
Now your volume is up. It's probably something with Restream.
Uh,
I'm gonna
anyway,
refresh the page.
okay. Or you hear like the excuses, like, well, toes getting stepped on happens. Just deal with it, which basically completely dismisses the uh the experiences of the person whose toes you're stepping on. It's like, yes, you're right. It does happen. That doesn't make it right. So no, I'm not going to just deal with it. I'm going to speak up, because if I don't speak up, then it's just going to keep happening. So, yes, stepping on toes happens. But if you think that someone should just sit back and be like, oh, well, it's fine, that's not going to, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to fix anything at all. So, no, I'm not going to just deal with it. And then, of course, there's the, well, you shouldn't be wearing sandals around people with boots. Why the fuck not? Like, what you're saying is, I shouldn't be who I am when I'm around people like you. And that's not okay either. Like, when see someone that, someone's like, uh well, can you just be less gay? Or, can you not be so black? Or, things like that. It's like, whoa, what? I'm not going to change who I am just so you feel better about yourself. So, I'm going to wear fucking sandals wherever the fuck I want to wear them. Maybe you should just be more mindful of where you put your fucking feet. Like, it's so to when you have someone that doesn't understand how damaging privilege can be, the boots and sandals analogy is a great way to kind of demonstrate it. And if they agree with any of it, then it's like, okay, see, that right there is the problem. Right there is the problem. Also a problem: privilege blindness. This is the inability to recognize privilege. And we see this
Within yourself,
within
or
yourself. It's within yourself. And
mm,
sometimes kind of outside, as well. And with the privilege within either your person or your group, right? So, you know, we we see it all the fucking time with,
ugh.
I use the example. I didn't have privilege, I grew up poor. You're missing this whole other chunk of privilege that you do in fact have. Another example of privilege blindness that we hear all the fucking time is I don't see color.
Oh, hang up that phone immediately.
That is how often do we have people, and it's always fucking white people, that say, I'm not racist. I don't see color. I don't see color.
During the
Okay, well, if you don't.
pandemic, I felt like I was becoming like a civil, I don't know what to call it, like a civil architect where I had to explain to people, like, you may be just a little bit racist.
eh,
And they would be like, oh. And I'm
if
like,
if you if you don't
wow.
see color, then you are completely ignoring this group's lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
You have to see color. You have to and you have to acknowledge your implicit bias when it comes to that. Like, you have, if you say you don't see color, then you're ignoring the systemic racism that happens. You are ignoring the fact that people are still dealing with this shit. Like, this is so that's a
I would say
huge.
a good example of this is when dump truck takes away the what is it, the like slavery um statues, and
All the memorials and things.
yeah, and then tries to put up like Robert E. Lee's and put them back up, and
Right.
doesn't acknowledge any of the struggle, acknowledge any he this is like a pure case of that, is that he's like, no, I don't think that they, I don't, I February, no, I don't think so,
That's because he's
it's a
probably in the
month
camp where he's probably in the camp where, he's like, no, it wasn't slavery. They asked to come over. They were lining up. It's like, well,
that he's that
like,
he's Jesus at the moment, so
no, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
uh,
So, other examples of privilege blindness, right? So there's the economic things where you're like, anyone can succeed if they work hard enough, right? We hear this all the time from folks, especially folks that have money or who are in higher positions. And by saying that, like, you're ignoring your own safety nets, or, things that helped get you to where you are.
hmm
Because not everybody has that ability. Not everybody comes from familial wealth. Not everybody comes from inherited wealth. Not everybody had the opportunities and advantages that you had that allowed you to, like, maybe go to school full time without having to have a job.
hmm
You know,
I would
not
say
it's
that. I acknowledge that I um what well somebody jokes around that I was a black suburb kid. I was not a black hood kid. Um, don't go around saying that just because I said it, folks. Thanks so much.
I mean,
But I acknowledge that
fail.
I had privilege that others didn't because my parents, provided those opportunities. So
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, I always tell folks that like on the surface, my adolescence, my childhood was very privileged. I grew up overseas. I spoke multiple languages. I was able to do all these different things and experience all these different things. And there was a lot of privilege in that. 100%. There were
Hmm.
a lot of other things that were also that weren't so privileged, but like that part of it, absolutely, my life was very privileged up until I was like when after I graduated from high school and started college. Like that was, so there's also like a systemic blindness. So when people kind of underestimate the wealth gap between different racial groups,
Well,
because
they're sure
that
learning about it now.
they are, and that is, but that's like that's a thing as well. You have communities in states that have been basically segregated for years. They get, they're the black neighborhoods, right? So
Hmm.
they get less city funding. Uh, it there less opportunities for growth and improvement within that community.
At one point, we weren't approving loans so that we couldn't buy new
Right,
homes.
right,
Um, if we started to become affluent, they were finding ways to make the neighborhood value go down.
yep,
Black Wall Street was burnt down
yep.
practically, not once, but like two or three times.
There
So,
were, I mean, even in the early part of the century, there were numerous thriving black communities where uh, folks were able to start accumulating wealth and own property and things, and we've every single time we've either burnt them down or buried them under a lake,
hmm.
because that's a thing. Look it up. And there is privilege blindness when it comes to daily life, and I think these are things that a lot of folks don't think about. And
Hmm.
when you think about like privilege in your daily life, right? So a lot of times folks kind of overlook the time and financial flexibility to allow people to do things like go to the gym in the middle of the day.
Oh, wow.
Not everybody is able to do that. Um, Take time off. Just the
I
simple part
acknowledge my
of
privilege.
like if people like, well, why don't you just take time off and do this, especially when it comes to like protests and things. People get
Hmm.
very, we'll just take the day off. Okay, but not everybody can do that. Some people work 2 or 3 jobs, and taking
Hmm.
a day off means losing a really good, like a big chunk of your income that you can't afford to lose, especially right now with groceries, gas prices, everything going through the roof. Like people can't just be like, I'm just going to take it off. Um, I was talking to myself, my partner, and her other partner went to dinner the other night. We were talking about how like the French really know how to protest and get results.
Hmm.
They've been doing it forever. They know how to do it. Like they when they decide to protest something, they fucking protest. The problem is here we are not set up to be able to do that properly, and that's unfortunate because in France they're like the farmers are like, "Oh, okay, well we're not going to work. Period. Until this gets
Hmm.
fixed. We're not working." Here we can't do that. We are set up for failure here. So maybe you are in a position where you can, take extended PTO. Maybe you have a bunch of you're working a job where you can take 3 weeks of PTO, you know what I mean? Not everybody is in the position to be able to do that. People aren't able to take the time to go protest and still be able to feed their families. You know what I mean? And
Also, some of that privilege too is like some of us work for places where you can't do that, kind
right,
of, because then the politics of it all become a thing, and so
right,
I would acknowledge that sometimes the privilege is in like, oh, your boss is very liberal and lets you be a part of the protest,
right,
or shoot, shut down the whole office
right,
and take everybody with you. And, you know,
right.
because I did see some of that where people were like, oh, yeah, my boss like closed the whole place down and we were like outside. And I was like, wow, that is
Great.
great.
And, Arizona being a right to work state, they can just
Hmm.
be like, okay, cool. We're just going to replace you. We don't care. Like,
Yeah.
so being able to take time off, being able to do those things and not, and that's one thing and that's another type of privilege that I acknowledge for myself is that I have a job where I hate my job, but the perks are good. I have a fuck ton of PTO. Like we talk about this. Like my job is fucking dumb. I hate my job so much, but I can't justify leaving yet. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense for me to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna peace out and leave my like 300 hours of PTO that I get a year. You know what I mean? It's like why, and then start over. Like,
Hmm.
So I acknowledge that I have good benefits where I work, but not everybody has that. People struggle to take time off for doctor's appointments. You know,
Hmm.
people take their sick kids to daycares because they can't afford to take the time off work to stay home with their sick kid. You know what I mean? So they'd rather go to work, get in at least a few hours until the daycare says, "Hey, you got to come pick up your fucking kid because they're throwing up everywhere." You know what I mean? Like, eh, because
Hmm.
we do what we can to be able to support ourselves and our families. And that is definitely, I think, something that people don't think about. Like it's very much like out of sight, out of mind. Well, if I can do it, then everybody else should be able to do it as well. And that's definitely
Ooh,
not the case.
that's
Right.
privilege in itself. Ooh.
So, how do we do things like overcome privilege blindness and start advocating and supporting marginalized communities? Active listening is a big one.
What?
Right. What I always try to say is I don't need you to speak for me, but sometimes it's nice to have you hold the mic while I'm talking. So
Hmm.
you're not speaking for me, but you are supporting me in what I am saying. Listen to what people are telling you. And I'm not talking about one random person over here. Listen to the general
Not
consensus,
just the
right?
words sometimes.
Because you always have that one, okay, there's always that one person in every marginalized community that you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're like it's that one that one trans person that's like, well, yeah, men shouldn't be competing in women's sports. What the fuck? Like, ugh. Or they're like, yeah, we don't want, men in dresses. No, 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 no. Just stop. Just stop. There's always that one person in the marginalized communities that you're just like, okay, no. But if you listen to the other people, the general consensus within that community, that is your best bet. Like, actually listen to what they are telling you. Self reflection is a big thing. And that's one of those, like, when we talk about privilege, it's about acknowledging and recognizing the privilege that you have. And part of why I do what I do, why I still am a very outspoken, out trans man, is because of the privilege that I do have. I was privileged enough to be able to get my name changed early, get my documents all changed, everything. My birth certificate has been changed over, my social security, everything has been changed. Everything has been changed. And part of that was I was like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for this shit. I'm going to get this done as soon as possible, because what the fuck? Like, what's the point otherwise, right? But part of it was I had the financial privilege to be able to get my name changed early. I had the ability to be able to take time off work to go and, go to court for the name change and do all these things, but it's still a fucking privilege. It's still a fucking privilege. Educating yourself. That is a big one. People have a tendency to use people in marginalized communities as their own, like, personal Google, or, as soon as this happens a lot when it comes to, like, trans discourse and stuff like that. People will just be like, let me tag all of these trans people on the status so that they can jump in. First of all, don't fucking do that. That's dangerous. Don't do that. But there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, but there's also a lot of good information on the internet. There's a lot of information that comes straight from the mouths of marginalized communities, people in marginalized communities. Those are things that you should be looking at. And I'm happy to talk about my own experiences, but I can only speak to my experiences and sort of on, in general terms, so I can't speak for everyone, and I won't speak for everyone, but I mean, general consensus is, X, Y, and Z is usually not looked good, whatever. But educate yourself. Don't make somebody else do all the emotional labor for you. And if you're gonna do that, for fuck's sake, send us some money. Like, I will happily give you my Cash App, my Venmo, whatever the fuck. Because if I'm gonna do all the emotional labor for you, then you better pay me for my time. Just saying. And another big one, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't do, honestly, that's examining your own bubble. That's the people around you. So it's not just looking at yourself, it's looking at the people that you have in your friend bubble, whether it's your coworkers, your family. Are you surrounding yourself with people that don't see color? Are you surrounding yourself with people that are like, well, I don't care what they do, behind closed doors, but I don't really want it in my face. Who are you surrounding yourself with? And are you, oh, Felicia can't get back on now. Like, she's there, but she's not there. It's fine. Are you calling people out on their privilege? Are you calling your bubble out when they say something that is problematic? And if they keep doing it, are you still keeping them in your bubble? So examining your bubble is a big thing to do. And I think that is something that a lot of folks don't do more than pretty much anything else. So that is something to think about. All right, I'm gonna move ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and play it, even though I'm not Felicia, but we're gonna go ahead and do it because we're gonna just touch on some quick current events before we end the show here. Well, things are definitely interesting over on Capitol Hill these days. James Donald Bowman, I'm sorry, my bad. J.D. Vance has told the Pope that he needs to be careful when he talks about theology. I'm just, again, J.D. Vance has told the Pope that he needs to be careful when talking about theology. Now, the context of this is the Pope basically said that Jesus was not about violence. And Vance was like, oh, yeah, because God was on our side when we dropped the bombs on Hiroshima. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I anybody that has any knowledge, and this regardless of what religion you are, right? I think that, or what you believe, or whatever, everyone knows the most of the stories about Jesus that you find in the New Testament, right? He was not about money lending and taxation, flipping the tables in the temple. You all remember that, right? Yeah. He was also a fucking pacifist. No, he would not have been okay with people dropping bombs. He was not like, that was not a thing. So, but this is why when we talk about Christians, they're Christians, but they are not Christ-like. They're not. I don't know what they're teaching. And now you're telling so, and also keep in mind that JD Vance is Catholic, right? So you are literally telling the most Catholic of all Catholics, hey, maybe you don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about theology. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Whatever. And I think everybody, I'm going to call this like Jesus Gate. All right. So we all know that Twitler posted a picture of himself as Jesus, right? And then deleted it after the backlash and said it was him as a doctor, because that makes it better. Sir, you are neither. You are not Jesus, and you sure as fuck ain't no doctor. You are nothing. You are literally nothing. You are a useless piece of fatty tissue that sits in a gilded throne, surrounded by minions who are just like, okay, grandpa, whatever you say, grandpa. Like, no. No. Mm-mm. No. You saying, no, it wasn't me as Jesus, it was me as a doctor. You are neither. You are neither. Okay? You are not cosplaying as Jesus, and you are not cosplaying as a doctor. You're just not. Okay? So no. Don't do that. But I found this amazing because this is going to come back and bite her in the ass so many times. So Carolyn Levitt, press secretary, right, has assured reporters, and she said this at a press conference, that if you see it on Truth Social, it comes straight from the horse's mouth and should be viewed as official administration policy. I'm going to let that sit for just a second. The horse, of course, in this instant being the Cheeto in charge. Although, I'd say more of a horse's ass than horse. But, potato. And that basically solidifies every fucking lie that Twitler has said when he's posted something like racist things and said, it was an intern who basically took my phone in the middle of the night and posted racist stuff. I didn't do it. Yeah, no, complete bullshit. And it comes straight from the press secretary, who says that if it is on Truth Social under Twitler's account, then it is from the horse's mouth. Sorry. And should be viewed as official administration policy. Let that part sink in. Official administration policy. Like when he's telling Iran to open the fucking strait. We're, you know what? It's fine. You know what? At this point, nothing surprises me anymore. But you know damn well that shit is going to loop back around and bite her in the ass and bite Twitler in the ass. And I am so excited for this because people are going to throw back, and she's going to try and back, double back around and flip it. And nope. It will be thrown back at her in sound bites and sound clips and all of these things, and it's going to be glorious, and I can't wait for it. So when talking about politics, in just about 100 hours, Eric Swalwell went from the California governor frontrunner to abandoning his House seat in disgrace amid the open secret of his womanizing and allegations of sexual assault. 100 hours. And yet, Cheeto in charge is still seated on his golden throne, overseeing this regime. Make it make fucking sense. And so this is interesting to me. So is this evidence of Twitler's cognitive decline or just idiocy? So bear with me here, right? There's been speculation that he's confused what his advisors are telling him, right? So every time there's a press conference or every time, he talks about literally anything, anytime he opens his mouth, basically, right? His advisors are telling him, hey, make sure that you say this about this thing over here, right? They're giving him like buzzwords. They're giving him like clues. They're like, hey, you should say this thing over here, right? So, and this is when he's talking about anything from the AI images that he posts to the war in Iran, right? So think about it, right? So someone's telling him, just say that the image was doctored. Say the image was doctored. That becomes, oh, it was me as a doctor. And his advisors are going, oh, fuck, that's not what we said. That's not what we said, you dumb fuck. The incursion in Iran becomes a little excursion. No. We're not booking a cruise. We're not booking that's people attempting to come to the US to seek asylum becomes people are coming here from asylums. You see where there's like, you can see the link, but it's like the synapses just they're not quite connecting. They're so close. They're just not, it's like you're trying to, you're trying to high five someone and you're not looking at the elbow and you just keep missing, right? Like you can see the like that sort of connective tissue because that people are like, no, you need to say this, say the image was doctored. Say the image was doctored. Yeah, it was me as a doctor. Oh, you fucking, somebody's gonna like, if he had a Mexican like abuela there, she would have taken off his fucking her fucking chancla and chucked it at him for being a fucking idiot. Like, no, that is not what they said. But yeah. And this happens quite a bit. If you look back on things, it's like it's like, oh, they told you to say this, but you said okay. It's like, you're so close. You are so close. But this isn't horseshoes. So I listen. It is. He complained about Biden being old all the fucking time. And Biden was by no means perfect, not even remotely. But this shit never happened. Personally, I think it's time that we take Grandpa Cheeto, put him in his rocker, and put on his stories for him so he can just watch and yell at the TV. Or we could put him in a nice facility where he can live in his delusions all day long. And occasionally someone will come by, give him some meds, check his blood pressure, pat him on the head, and say, yeah, you're a doctor. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Because, listen, the fact that one representative can essentially just lose his entire career in a matter of hours, but a 34-time felon who has literally been convicted of sexual assault is still, and who is suffering from obvious cognitive decline, is still in charge. Like, come on, y'all. 25th Amendment. Let's do this. Article 4. Come on. I am right here with you. I'll even break it down for y'all. Anyway, I don't know. This shit is if we were looking at if we were on the outside looking at this happening in like another country, we would be shocked and appalled that this was happening, that they would allow this to happen. Instead, it's happening here, and this is the worst episode of Black Mirror ever. It is what it is, and our choices for potential candidates are not great, especially who is kind of a front runner right now. But we'll talk about that at some point, because this needs to be talked about, because anyway, what we are up to over the next couple weeks or so. So Drag Bingo and Cats is sold out. As we told you, it was sold out. It was going to sell out. We told you it would. Friday night, it's happening. Sometimes a ticket may open up if someone cancels and requests a refund. Occasionally that happens, but not very often. Do not assume that this will happen. And next time, get your tickets early, like we tell you all the time. But yes, we are sold out, but it's still happening on Friday. If you got your tickets, fan-fucking-tastic. We will see you there. On the 23rd, Felicia is doing her Alice in Wonderland themed drag bingo at Drink Me Tea Room. I believe there are still tickets available for that, so go get your tickets for that while you can. Don't come bitching to Felicia or me, because it's not my gig, about, things. So, if you don't get your tickets for that, that is completely on you. I don't know what to tell you. On May 2nd, I will be at Southwest Love Fest. I will be on 2 panels on that Saturday. You can get your tickets for Southwest Love Fest at lovefestevents.com. I highly recommend checking it out. It's a great little convention, regardless of whether you're poly, whether you're monogamous. There are a lot of panels and workshops that talk about communication, relationship styles, all sorts of things that could be helpful to you regardless of what kind of relationship you're in, or even if you're single. Who the fuck knows? It's about self-help and self-improvement. Yay. So go do the thing there. I have a couple other things that are coming up on my radar, but I don't have stuff for it yet, so I will wait and do that later. But Felicia and I are both available for, things like office parties, circumcisions, funerals. We put the fun in funeral. Hey. Uh Neither one of us is Jewish, but you know what? We could still be fun at things like bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, you name it. I will do whatever mostly. And I need gigs right now. I need the gigs. Um so, office parties, whatever, we got you. We can pretend it's Christmas, whatever. What holidays do we have coming up? I don't even know. Holiday parties, you name it. We got you. Bingo, you want an office bingo? But yes, but thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Well, us loosely. It was me mostly. Felicia did jump in when she was able, which was fantastic. And make sure again to go and subscribe to our Patreon. I did make a really cool exclusive announcement over there for all of our subscribers. So go check that out. I post recipes on occasion. We always have our after show on there. So there's stuff. So make sure you go to patreon.com/live with Fefe and Freddy and go support us on Patreon. And we will catch you next week for your Wednesday night conversation. Good night.